Business owners, what is happening in our economy? What is happening in the market? I think it's so important that we are always up to date and that we stay watchful as to what is going on, because what happens in Washington, what happens in the market, what happens globally will eventually impact our businesses. And we need to understand how what they're talking about affects us. If you stick to the end, I will tell you one of my number one strategies for making sure that we business owners can flourish in any type of market. So let's get after it. The first thing we got to think about, what is going on in Washington with the debt ceiling? The best way for me to explain it is you have a credit card and your credit card limit is $5,000. That's all the debt that the credit card company will allow you to have. Well, in Washington, we have a ceiling on how much money we as a government can borrow and spend. We are getting ready to hit that ceiling. Your credit card is getting ready to max out. But unlike us, we don't get the ability to go say, oh, well, my credit card is up to $5,000. Give me an extra $1,000. Give me an extra $2,000. We have to pay it off. Our government will raise the debt ceiling. That means they will increase the amount that the government can borrow. And how does that affect us? Well, somebody has to pay for that. If our government is borrowing money, that means that they have less money to spend on its American people, right? And it's going to have to figure out a way to raise money in order to pay off the debt. How does our government raise money? They raise money through the collection of taxes. That is the only revenue stream for the government, is the payment of taxes by taxpayers like you and me. So the debt ceiling goes up, our taxes are gonna go up. So we're gonna be looking at more tax expense, and that means that we're gonna have higher business expenses and less profit in our pockets. So you got to start thinking about these things don't only affect Washington, they trickle down and affect your business and ultimately will affect your employees, because you will eventually start to scale back. The other thing to be mindful of, interest rates. Interest rates continue to climb. So when interest rates are climbing, because they are adjusting the interest rates about every quarter or so, and even more often than that, eventually interest rates on the money we need to borrow to fund our businesses, to get extra capital, to be able to pay for things, are going to go up. If you currently have any loans right now that are adjustable, right? Because all the loans that we get in business may not be at a fixed interest rate. If you have loans that are adjustable, you're going to start to see the interest rate creep up. If you have any type of debt instruments that are out there that are adjustable, you got to start thinking, should I pay those off now? Should I be looking at trying to refinance it and lock into a fixed rate? Because we know interest rates are climbing. The cost of money is going to continue to get higher for us. Do not get yourself in too much debt as a business owner. Anytime you're going to get debt, you got to make sure you're asking yourself, is this debt going to get me to my goals faster? Is this going to make me more revenue in my business? Don't take on debt just to purchase a vehicle, unless that vehicle is for a logistics company and you need to go out and you need to deliver services. You got to start being careful with the amount of debt that you bring on. Housing prices. Housing prices have fluctuated so much. It's gone up, down, up, down. Recently, I'm hearing in the news that housing prices are really starting to drop, and I'm starting to notice it myself. I love to survey the market in different places that I invest in, and I'm starting to see price adjustments. That means that there could potentially be an opportunity out there if you decided that you wanted to invest in real estate. Housing prices are a pillar of our economy. If housing prices are dropping, you got to start to say to yourself, the value of things are coming down. So you don't want to start overpaying for things, and really start thinking about, where are you putting your money? Where is it going right now? Because if the housing market is dipping, that means that other things are going to come down, and there could be an opportunity in the market for you to go out and buy things, but you got to make sure it's the right opportunity. Allow me to give you an example. If I'm starting to see housing prices drop, I may decide that I want to go out and invest and scoop up some houses. But before I make that decision, I got to make sure my business is running at an optimum level. I got to make sure I have the right reserves sitting in my business before I take more money out of my business to go invest. We don't want to take money away from our business when this may also be an opportunity to get a bigger share of the market. So that's very important as well. So just be mindful not to go overspend and invest if you really need to put that money in your business to grow it. And right now, one of the things that I am going to tell you as an entrepreneur, you need to make sure you're doing more marketing in your business than ever. You might be thinking, well, Carla, shouldn't we be cutting back on the marketing in our business if we should be tightening our belt? No. Whenever there is a down economy, you gotta market more because people are going to really decide where they're going to spend their money. You want to keep your name in front of them. Other businesses are going to pull back on their advertising. This is an opportunity for you to get a bigger share of the market. So make sure that you do not cut back on your marketing and advertising. Not in a recession. Do not do that. A lot of people may think that's the first thing to cut. That is not what you want to cut. You want to double down on your marketing and your advertising because those seeds that you're going to plant now are really going to harvest later on. Now, this job market is doing all sorts of things. I can honestly tell you that I am starting to see clients get laid off on high paying jobs. My clients that are making hundreds of thousands per year, my clients that are in higher income brackets, they are starting to get their jobs slashed. They're starting to get those pink slips. And now I'm also starting to see mid-level positions start to be less because employers, business owners are starting to really think twice about putting out job ads. They're starting to tighten their belts. So you want to make sure that when you see big companies laying off, the Googles laying off, the Apples laying off, the Amazons laying off, the thing that you need to be asking yourself, are all of your employees working to their potential? Do you have the proper metrics in place to measure what your employees are doing? Do you need to make sure you're squeezing a little bit more juice out of your employees and that they're wearing the appropriate hats? Maybe they need to be doing a couple of extra things, and it's okay because I would rather go to my employee and say, in order to prevent layoffs, I'm going to need to add to your job plate what it is that you're doing, but I'm going to maintain my staffing levels. There should never, ever be a job loss or layoff if a business owner is paying attention to what is really going on in the market. We can contract on our expenditures, but typically don't contract on your employees. Maybe give them more to do. Don't contract again on advertising because I already talked about that. But be mindful of what these other bigger companies are doing. If these bigger companies are laying off and they're laying off talented individuals, perhaps this could be an opportunity for you to scoop up some talent. Maybe those individuals are going to go out and start doing some consulting. Wouldn't it be nice to have one of those Google employees or perhaps one of those Amazon employees that worked in logistics working for your company if you're in that type of business? So we got to think about both sides of the spectrum when we're looking at what's going on in the market. Here's the other tip. When you run a business, I like to always think about bookends in a business. And let me give you an example of what I mean by bookends. You have things that are going to sell when the economy is doing great. But what is going to sell when the economy is not doing so great? How can you retool your business to take advantage of it? So as an example, when the economy dipped back in 2008, furniture companies just shut down, right? Well, some of those people that own those businesses started allowing for fractional shares of storage space. They started allowing you to put your merchandise inside of their store to store it. So they repurpose what they were using that space for. You got to start to think outside the box. When it comes to our business, we are in the tax advisory business, but one of our bookends is also being able to help clients solve their tax problems. Because when the economy is booming, people can pay their taxes. When the economy is down, people typically get behind on their taxes. So if you have something in your business that allows you to flourish in good times and in bad times, your business will always be okay. You got to take control of your business. We are not waiting on Washington. We're not waiting on the President of the United States to come on TV and tell us what we should be doing. We are smart because we are business owners. We just need to look out, be mindful. We need to pay attention. I know you can do it. You're a smart individual. That's why you know it's time to like, comment, and subscribe, so I can continue to keep you updated on all things business and tax. Somebody got to bring it to you, right?